Alright, so let's now look at number 37. Number 37, we have to learn something new. So let me clear the screen here. So it says for each employee, display the first name, last name, and email address. The email address will be composed from the first letter of the first name concatenated with the three first letters of the last name, and then with at oracle.com. So let's start first. So I'm going to say select select first name, and last name. Okay, so let's leave it this way first. I'm going to say from employees, HR.employees. Okay. Now I want to form the email address using the first name, part of the first name and the last name. So let's say let's join the first name and the last name. So I'm going to say the first letter of the first name concatenated with the first three letters of the last name. So let's see. So let me say first name. I'm going to say use this last name and use this again, and now use at oracle.com. Now what we've done is we've created the email address, first name concatenated with the last name at oracle.com. And let's see, maybe we can just make from HR.employees. Okay, so let's see what we have. So it's going to be first underscore name and last underscore name. So let me just correct them. Okay, so just run one more time. Okay, so we can see that we've made a bit of progress, right? So we have the first name and the last name at oracle.com, but now they say they want the first letter of the first name. So we are going to use substring here. So I'm going to say substring. So substring helps you to take part of a string. So I'm going to take I see substring like this. Now, what I want to take is the first letter of the first name. So I'm going to simply say from 0 to 1, I think. So from 0 to 1 means the letter between 0 and 1. So that's the first letter. I think maybe from 0 to 0, I can't remember, but let's see what we have, and then we continue from there. So I'm going to kind of say the same thing here. So str, this time the first three letters. So I'm going to say last name, and then I'm going to specify comma, starting index 0. How many characters? I think I can't remember. Is it 3? Okay, from 0 to 3. Let me run and let's see what we have. So we have array. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. I think we got it. So Abel, ABE. So, okay. E for Elaine. S and AND. SAND. So we got it. So we have this one goes from 0 to 1, which is 0, and this one goes 0, 1, 2. So this is exactly what they want us to do. I'm just going to call this email. I'm going to call this column email, and then I'm going to run it one more time, and you can see that it works well. All right, let's now move on to number 38. Let's see, display the lowest last name alphabetically. I'm going to select, I think it's going to be mean last name. So mean function also works from the last name, and it's going to give the lowest last name alphabetically, meaning the last name starting with A, meaning the lowest, and it's going towards Z alphabetically is increasing. So the lowest should be the last name that starts with A. Let's just try to see if it works. So I'm going to say from HR.employees, and I'm going to run. So lowest last name so is correct. So the lowest last name alphabetically, and the highest last name alphabetically is going to be Max. This already you know. And display the number of rows in the employees table. Okay, how about the number of rows in the employee table? So I'm going to use a function called count. I'm going to say count star. When you say count star, it's simply going to count the number of rows in that table and then return it. I'm going to just run it, and it tells us 107 rows. Okay, let's move on to number 39. In a join, employees and department. Okay, for each employee, display the first name and last name, department number, and department name. I think this is kind of structured. It makes it very clear. So I'm going to select. I already told you about join, so I'm going to select. So employee table, I'm giving it an alias E. So I'm going to say E as first name, last name, department number, department name. E the first name and E the last name. And then this time D the department ID and D the department name. And in this case, we are going to join the employee table with the department table. So I'm going to say from HR.employees E join HR.departments D on on E the department ID equal to D the department ID. So this is a column that is common on both tables. So that's a join column, and that's why we say on when we use this join statement here. So I'm going to run. Okay, run. Okay. So invalid identifier D. Okay. Let's see. Oh, D the department ID. All right. So I think we got this one correct. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Number 40 says subqueries. Now this is very, very important. You need to understand the concept of subqueries. Display the first name and salary for all employees who earn more than employee number 103. First, you want to ask yourself, who is employee number 103? So let's see. Of course, you want employee number 103. You get it by select. Let's say select salary from employees from HR.employees where employee ID is equal to 103. So what do we have now? We have the salary of employee number 103. So we want to display this the first name and salary for all employees who earn more than this salary of this employee. So let's copy this. Let's take this one, because this is the salary of employee number 103. So I'm going to just take it to my clipboard. So I'm going to select first name and salary from HR employees. Now I'm going to say where salary is greater than. Now it's greater than what? It's greater than what we already have on our clipboard. So it's going to be this. So this is the salary of employee number 103. So I'm going to just put it in brackets. So this is a subquery now. The subquery provides the salary of employee number 103, and we are simply using that result in the main query. So this is a subquery I put in brackets right now, and let's just run it and see what we have. I'm going to press the Command Enter key. So this is exactly how to use a subquery. So once you have a question that involves a subquery, try to understand first the subquery part of it. Do the subquery and put it in brackets, and do the main query, and then know that you now attach the subquery to it. Let's see if we have another subquery related problem. So maybe it's going to become clearer. So I'm going to go next. For each employee, display the first name, last name, and email address. The email address will be composed of the first letter of the first name concatenated with the 3 last letters of the last name with oracle.com. So let's do it. We actually did this before now using the first 3 letters of the last name and the first letter of the first name. But in this case, I'm going to simply say last name, okay, last underscore name. And now the email address, we are going to take the substring of last name to take the first letter of the first name, okay. So substring of the first name, the first letter of the first name is going to be from 0 to 1, okay? Concatenated with, using the double bar, you can concatenate. And we are taking the substring for the last name. So it's going to be last underscore name. Now we are going to take the last three letters at this point. So how do we get the last three letters? Okay, so right does not work. So I think it's going to be substring. Substring, but this time we are going to take minus. We are going to use minus this time. So minus is going to count from the other side, right? It's going to take three letters from the other side of the string. Let me just try. This kind of is a bit not applied to me, but let's see. Okay, so it works. So you have NDE, you have SON. So you have substring, specify the name of the column, and then specify negative number of letters or characters you want to extract. Let's move on to number 42. Okay, I guess we can just stop here and continue in the next part from 42.